Thanks for watching. This clip was from our live show exclusively on odds.com. To watch the full video, hit the link below and get paid in full. Let's keep rolling along. That was a fun game to break down. These afternoon games are very interesting. We move on to Buffalo Bills at Arizona Cardinals. This total opened up at 53.5 at Bet365, probably lower at other spots, has shot up to 56. Arizona opens up as 2-point favorites. They've now moved to 2.5 at some books. Some books are still hanging at 1.5. Bills are coming off an impressive 44-34 home win over the Seahawks on Sunday. Josh Allen grieving the death of his grandmother. Again, something I would have liked to have known as a gambler. Grieving the death of his grandmother, who died on Saturday, throws for a career-high 415 yards, 31 of 38, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Stephon Diggs, 9 catches for 118 yards. John Brown, 8 catches for 99 yards. Bills got very little on the ground, running 19 times for just 34 yards, and that worked in their favor. The whole plan for Seattle was to defend the run, and they were unable to make adjustments, and you know who to blame for that. Bills are 7-2 through 9 games for the first time since 1993. Bills defense sacked Wilson 5 times, picked him off twice, and forced 2 fumbles. Cardinals coming off a disappointing 34-31 home loss to the Dolphins. 3-game winning streak snapped. Kyle Murray, 21 of 26 for 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The chat brought up the prop bet. Bebsy, you liked it. For Kyler Murray rush yards over, you have yet to pull the trigger on a prop bet this year.
All the props I liked and didn't play hit, and I'm so angry at myself for especially this one. This one hit in the first half.
It hit in the first half, and we broke it down, and I even said, just because I'd gone 2-0 the week before, okay, let's just let it be. 11 rushes for 106 yards. The Cardinals, though, were outscored 10-0 in the fourth quarter. 2 things happened. They couldn't get stops when they needed to, and in crunch time, Kyler Murray wasn't able to move the ball when they needed him to. Chase Edmonds ran 25 times for 70 yards. Kenyon Drake remains questionable. Christian Kirk was excellent. 5 catches, 123 yards. Cornerback Kevin Peterson left the game early in the for a concussion evaluation. Didn't return. He's not on the injury report. Peterson will be back in. Arizona already playing without starting quarterback Drake Kirkpatrick, inactive with a thigh injury. He remains questionable this week. Bebsy, Bills, Cardinals, take it away.
My frustration with the Bills is that I know that this is a good football team. I said this before the season started. I was bullish on the Bills this year. I said it was their division to lose. I loved their defense. I thought their offense took a step forward in the offseason. The addition of Stephon Diggs was huge. They started out great, and they were making me look like a genius early on. And then 3 weeks of shitting the bed, followed by coming in and really taking it to Seattle. And yes, Seattle's defense is abysmal. And this is why, I don't believe Seattle is a legitimate contender until they can solve problems on their defense. Even with Jamal Adams back, they were so porous and they got so chewed up. And Jamal Adams is phenomenal, and he looked great in his first game back. But is Buffalo going to show up? What Buffalo team shows up this week? I believe that Seattle is marginally better than Arizona. They obviously have a much better offense, but their defense is far worse. So, look, if you just go on last week, they beat Seattle. They should roll in and beat Arizona, but you can't look at it like that. That's an oversimplification of it. But it really, for this, boils down to what Bills team we're going to see.
Agreed. And okay, let's guarantee a Bills letdown spot. Even with that guarantee, the Cardinals can't move the ball in crunch time. That 3-game winning streak was against frauds. And I want Arizona in this game. I'm just going to put up the other side. Their defense, after losing Jones, Does not look strong. Is that enough for me just to stay off? This to me is a Cardinals or no play.
See, this to me is a Bills or no play. Because I believe top to bottom, the Bills are a better football team.
They feel so good about themselves. It's one of those situations in gambling where the Bills are coming in, they beat the Patriots finally. Then they smash the Seahawks without a running game. And then they go into Arizona, an angry Cardinals team that just lost to the Dolphins, to break their 3-game winning streak.
I don't think losing to the Dolphins is the embarrassment it was last year. The Dolphins have a very good D, and they're starting to get it together.
See, I'm with Dennis. I don't like Arizona either as a whole, but Buffalo's overrated here. Nuke Worker agrees with you. Bills or no play. Gerald Jones is over with the Arizona, and I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger. Arizona Cardinals, for me, they're an angry group. And, God. I mean, what kind of a team is Bills now with John Brown and Stephon Diggs together?
That's just it. I mean, if you have the full lineup for the Bills, they are a good football team. I don't think they're overrated. I do believe them beating the Pats was a huge obstacle mentally beyond anything. They're much better than the Pats. If anything, that was a mental hurdle. And then, look, they took care of business in Seattle. At home versus Seattle. And, everyone's so high on Seattle, and I'm very high on Seattle's offense. I am very, very low on Seattle's defense. So, to me, look, Arizona is a team that got propped up in the offseason. Everyone thought, they were the darlings of the offseason because they drafted Isaiah Simmons and then they stole DeAndre Hopkins. But in reality, they're not quite there yet. And I don't think the Bills are Super Bowl contenders, but I do think they're a playoff team, whereas Arizona, I think, is a fringe team.
I agree. I think the Patriots are a bad football team. Do you agree with that?
The Patriots?
Yeah.
Yes. I'd be hard-pressed to find somebody who doesn't think that.
The Bills squeaked out that win.
Again, that is a mentality against – this is a team that beat the shit out of them for 2 decades.
But that's what Brady back there.
It doesn't matter. It's still looking across the field and seeing Belichick and still seeing that team that trounced you for 2 decades. I really believe that. I think they were looking ahead to that game.
So Josh Allen's going to go home, or he wants to be home for his grandmother's funeral, and he may not be allowed to go. Because of COVID. I don't know the situation there. He comes off his career best game after the death of his grandmother. And they have to go into Arizona against an angry football team. I'm going to take the Cardinals here, full game.
What are the Kyler Murray rush props and the Josh Allen rush props?
They don't come out early in the week, generally.
So I might be looking at those on Sunday.
Now, Josh Allen, I don't even have this in front of me, but I could tell you, he ran 7 times for 14 yards this past week. The Bills didn't run at all.
All the more reason to like it this week.
Sure. Oh, I agree with that. Arizona Cardinals full game for me. Jay-Z is on the over, and that's gone up to 56, so I'm going to leave that alone. Okay. Birdie agreeing with your statement there. It says Pats are horrible, but like Bebsy said, it's more mental. It says City of Buffalo has raised. Oh, wow. Okay. It says it's raised a ton of money for her in a charity for Alan's grandmother. Interesting. Christian Larson says grab that prop on Thursday night. Cardinals full game.